Right. So hello everyone. So I was planning on doing some more materials, but I decided that I wanted to look at some of the English roundhand letters. There was hi Sarah. There was there've been quite a lot of sort of private comments about how some of the letters work, and some of the comments have been on Facebook as well as on hey, is that Alexa's? Whoa. Woo. And some of the comments have been on Facebook as well as YouTube. So I thought what I'd do is I would have a quick look at some actual writing with you and field some of your comments, because I know some of you are trying them, and it's been really interesting sort of seeing how you're sort of tackling them. Hey Maz, woohoo! Where's Maz? Has she come up yet? Hi Debbie. Oh, my sister's on. Hi Cami. I'm looking at the other feed so that I can see the comments a little bit bigger, because you know what, I am actually 46. So let's swap this around. Maz, oh my gosh, you know, I tried that green tomato thing and it nearly killed me. So my sister's just on, she's just waving, Carmelita Atong. You know, I love her so much. You know, she's great. She has 3 great children, and she's a brilliant cook. All right. So, hi, Roxana. Okay, so enough of the chatting. So young. Right. So, let's grab the camera and swap it out. Okay. And put it into the jig. Let's get some more light here. Maybe I'll move this where I can see the comments a little better. Okay, so I'm using some Tom Norton's walnut ink, Hunt 22B nib, some paper from London Graphic Centre, and my own grid. The secret of the secret of the fountain of youth is ink. Right, so this is page 6. So I'm going to go through some of these letters with you. We've gone through. We've only really gone through pages 1 to 5. So there's there are 11 sheets in this batch, and I have another batch, and there are 61 sheets in that. So I need to stop doing all this research and actually start teaching you guys. So Telma and I are working on a course. We're going to set up a course so that hey Pardi. So that we, you know, so we can get this information out to you. All right, so let's get some writing. I am going to zoom in just a little bit more. I can't quite see the screen because of how I've set the camera up. Okay. So one of the things that I sort of ran into some problems with the last time I was writing was I was at the bottom of the page. So let's look at, you know, this letter combination. Always remember to mark them off. Mark off the lines you're working in. I fell in love with this, so I just need to set this up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is this R, and then there is this R. I'm going to turn the nib so that I can get that. Really, really beautiful shapes. And, you know, one of the things that happened when I started looking at these slightly more complex English roundhand letter forms is the pace of the writing completely changed, and the sort of rhythm and the breathing and the connection to the writing was very, very different. And you've probably noticed that I'm much calmer as I'm talking. It's changed quite a lot from sort of saying hello to everyone. I'm really sort of feeling these letters in a very, very different way. Right. So this is the W that sort of freaked me out. I am actually going to do it smaller because it's meant to be written smaller. Notice I changed the position of the W. That's what I meant to do a couple of days ago. It does need to be a little bit smoother. I am a little bit confined to where I'm sitting because I'm at the edge of my table, but there are some really, I'm talking and I have goose flesh all down the back of my neck. There are some really beautiful shapes in the 17th century. So let's go on. There's this absolutely stunning V. And you know, when I teach Copperplate script, I'm very conscious of keeping the weight in the middle 2/3, and a lot of the time that doesn't really happen. You'll find the weight in the bottom sort of 2/3 or bottom half or the top half, and there's a lot more sort of care to the letters, and I don't know, it's a very, very different approach. Oh, Sarah, that's great to know that you're looking at some of the 17th and 18th century V's. Oh, that's brilliant. I have bucket loads of them. So like I said earlier on, this is a Hunt 22B nib with Tom Norton's original light fast, water soluble, acid free drawing ink, walnut drawing ink. Where are we at? There's so much to show you. You know, every time I start, I get so excited because there's so much to show you. So remember, you know, I find the marking off helps, and even in the middle of the sort of area, I find the marking off helps again, because you don't want to be in a position where you're having to double check where the line is. You know, just that little tick really does help you. And I'm not going back and forth, it's just a little tick. It also helps with the flow of the ink. That's better. So, you know, it's also about you know, being conscious of the angle. So, you know, I know that I always tend to the 55, but that's that's not 55. So it's you really have to keep being conscious of the shapes. So that's wrong. And you know, if you don't get it on the first try, you just have to be a little bit more patient with it. Oh, I'm sure some of the Beethoven stuff is beautiful. I'm sure it is really quite exciting. I was actually this morning looking at some of George Washington's writing, and his letter writing is pretty damn impressive. Where are we at? Oh, these are great. I love these. So that's a double P, which is just magnificent. It could also be misconstrued as a P and a B. But I sort of feel that I derived that from a P and a D. So it should really be that. And immediately, you know, that's really sort of amazing. So I'm not writing variations. I'm actually just working through the research that I've done. This is amazing as well. Look at this one. Now, if you, so obviously I'm here. So if you turn the tool, you can get a very different deposition. Ah, absolutely lovely. Really, really so elegant. And this thing up here is so interesting because, you know, you can do that, no pressure, pressure. You could do that and over and press. You can do this and over and under and press. And just those three variables gives you so much to play with. There's so much possibility. Yeah, definitely, Roxanne. You know, using a straight holder gives you a range of possibility that you simply cannot get with an oblique holder. An oblique holder drives the deposition in a very, very different place. It's great for Spencerian script and ornamental penmanship, and it is very, very good for engrosser script. I'm not sure if I had to be really, really conscious about it, I wouldn't say that it's good for engraver's script because, of course, an engraver uses a straight burin to cut into the copper. So it's a very different kind of approach, engraving versus writing. Where are we at? So many really, really beautiful shapes. There's so much to be said about historical research. And you know, somebody said to me the other day, oh, I think you've misspelt W in week. Well, this is an historical W. So this was used, you know, through the early 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. And the minuscule form of it is that. So, you know, I'd love to see more people using these historical letter forms. Need to sort of concentrate for this. I wouldn't say that it's an Italian hand W, or rather, I would prefer not to say Italian hand. I would actually use the word Italien. And I wouldn't call it a definitive Italian W because this W originates, you can see examples of it in the in textualis. So it's not a specific to Italien. Oh, where are we at? Oh, this crazy letter. This is really. I sort of put this down on the sheet and I thought, do I really want to embarrass myself doing this? How is that for sir? Oh, so lovely. Let's do another S on there. Where are we at? I'm having to move some stuff around here. Sorry about that. Where are we at? Or so the position of the tool is really important in working out where the deposition rests with the letter. Oh, so Sarah, this is for you since you've been looking at some V's. And here's a W. The O's, you know, you would think that there really isn't that much that you can have in the way of variations of the letter O, but you would be utterly mistaken in thinking that. So that's a little too big on this side. Let's try and keep it between the lines. So sort of like a J and a C. I mean, some of the variations are really, really quite amazing. Oh, it's great to be able to sort of move on to page 7. I think when I'm doing these by myself rather than doing a live, you know, I spend so long sort of explaining stuff and you know, because I'm just trying to anticipate what you might need to know. But doing it as a live is a very, very different experience. And you know, there's lots of variants to consider. So of course you have Italien, you have that really interesting crossover point between Cancelleresca Corsiva and early what I call Proto-English Roundhand. Then you have some of the Flemish current scripts that you see by people like Jan van der Velde, and it's just amazing because all this information is going back and forth. And then, of course, in England at the beginning of the 16th century, you have Bastard Secretary, which really influences the way in which Copperplate script is written at the beginning of the English Roundhand script is written at the beginning of the English Roundhand period in England. And then you have all this influence from the Dutch. And of course, in France, you have the development of the French Ronde. So there's just tons and tons of letter forms to consider, and how they interact and how they work and how they sort of, you know, fall into this melting pot of letters. Where are we at? I've been loving these as well. For the letter C, of course, you have to be a little bit more careful. And keep it underneath the baseline quite far. So if you're writing can, you would get that. So already you can see this starting to feel so much more historical, really, really sort of traditional Copperplate script, English Roundhand script. Let's see, what else do we have? What else can I throw at you? More like, what else can I throw at myself? And you see this necessity of sort of setting up the movement. So if you wanted to write year, you could use that as an abbreviation for YR. And of course, you know, there's by changing the angle of the tool. So this, you'd only really try some of these letters once you're really conversant with the letter itself. Hi, Rachel. So that's too what's the word? That's too upright on the 55. So let's drop that a little bit. Still too upright on the 55. So again, look, that's the 55 there. I mean, this is a completely different angle. And of course, once you're at this angle, you can produce... Oh. Think. One, no pressure. Press, release, press. No pressure. And press. So really interesting, because of course you wouldn't put pressure here and turn the tool and put pressure here, because of course, you know, rules. One, two thin strokes can cross each other. A thick and a thin stroke can cross each other, but two thick strokes cannot cross each other. Of course, my exception to the rule is two thick strokes can cross each other. They just cannot cross each other at the thickest points. So this is the thickest point here, and that's the thickest point there. So that gives you, you know, a lot more rules to play with. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Thank you for dropping me in that. Hey, Armando. Good to see you on. I still can't get used to the oblique pen after 9 months as a beginner. It still doesn't feel natural. So, Luis, do you find that is I mean, what are you using the oblique for? Are you using it for Spencerian? Are you using it for modern? Are you using it for Copperplate version, Copperplate script? I am thinking of putting this together in a comprehensive reference library that you can access. My only problem is I got sidetracked with the research so much that it sort of took over my life, which is not a bad thing, because it helped me to sort of focus on my work, rather than just the frustration of COVID and not having classes to travel to and missing my students. And right, so let's get back to this. So again, being able to do this, also using it for modern calligraphy. So it shouldn't really be that problematic to use it for modern calligraphy. I am working on my second set of prerequisites. So those of you who follow me, you know that I've done some prerequisites. You know, go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, because Telmo and I have some stuff coming out that is going to floor you. I just got back the second to last prototype of something that we've been working on. And it is absolutely phenomenal. We're just trying to find a way to bring the cost down, because it has so many cuts in it that it's not going to be cheap, but it'll last you for all of your life. Calligrafia con arte. I'm sorry, because I can't go much higher. I'm already at the end of the desk. Give us a hint of the secret device. So, you know how much calligraphers love ruling lines? Well, this takes the misery out of ruling lines in ways that you simply cannot believe. Right, where am I? Yeah, so let's look at something that that I do that lots of calligraphers don't seem to be able to do. See that? So that is that, and so do you see those hairlines? Those hairlines give you a really nice run up, and they also help the ink to start flowing. I've been using these a lot in some letters that I've been writing to friends and family. So, what? Definitely teasing strokes and flourish. Definitely. But, you know, go to the website and sign up on the form to get the newsletter, because I'm going to release the information about it in the newsletter before I release it. Sort of do a general release. I only picked up the prototype today, and I called Talmo and I said, look, and he was like, oh my gosh, that is something. Keep it narrow. And so I've already done what I normally do. So let's see if you could spot the difference. So now this is a typical shape that you would find of an oblique holder. So you'd get deposition in the bottom rather than in the middle, which is where I generally tend to aim for. But of course, the other thing to consider is this is not on the 55. So you have to keep coming back to this, you know, is this shape on the 55? I mean, I have an absolute mountain of bees here. Just going to do one more. Oh, this is lovely. This is such a glorious bee. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's start over again. And I am going to have to stop this live soon because I'm at the end of the page. So it's 3 6s high, but the line of universal beauty is actually 2. Absolutely stunning. And, you know, the thing about these lighter letters is if you're writing obviously, you could see where my mind is at. You know, definitely having a drink this evening. I haven't done anything for the newsletter. There's a lot that's happening with the website, so I'm just waiting for that to really sort of kick in, and then once that kicks in, I will sort of do the first newsletter to talk about the new products. So a couple things to talk about. Let's turn the phone. Okay. So let me show you that. So you can, if you want to take a screen grab of that, you can do so. But I'll also post this separately. And that's the page that I've been working off of. We still have all of these to get through. There's all of these to get through. I'm not sure if you want to do this as a post or if you want to do this as a live. If you find the live is a little bit more interesting, right, let's swap that around. Let's put this in here. Oh, too bright. So let me know what you think. You know, do you find the live as the post for the study of the English Roundhand better as a live, or do you prefer it as a B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, as a recorded thing that's then posted? Let's just close these off. Right. So I'm working on the second set of prerequisites. So those of you who are struggling with your writing, I think the second set of prerequisites will be amazing. Those of you who've purchased the first set of prerequisites, you should have, you vote for live, okay. You should have had a message to tell you that I've updated the PAScribe tool hold. So I was talking to Max at Lettering Daily, and he's been studying with the tool hold, and he has been doing amazingly with this tool hold. So the new additions that I have to the, okay, so that's good to know. Live. The new additions that I've added to the PAScribe hold is amazing. It really does help you come to terms with the hold, and I know the hold is different. It's my hold. I developed it because I nearly lost the use of my thumb because of repetitive strain injury. And I developed it so that it can work with both left-handers and right-handers. So those of you who are working through it, I would suggest you look at the new videos as well. Obviously, they're added in, you know, anything that's updated, you don't have to pay extra for it. You just get an email telling you that we've updated that information. The next set of prerequisites I am working on. It's taking me a little bit of time. It's been a little bit difficult dealing with, COVID. I've not had it. Tim hasn't had it. It's just, it's quite sort of mentally, it's a little bit unsettling. Will you post the live to rewatch? Definitely. Yes, Emma, I will definitely post it. The lives will, I will post this in the Copperplate variations IGTV folder. I might post it on YouTube as well, but I'll definitely post it in the PAScribe calligraphy classes group on Facebook, which is something else that's going to change. So please go and sign up to the newsletter. Just go to the website, paulantonioscribe.com, sign up to the newsletter, and I will talk to you about the magical tools that are coming. I'm really, really excited. It's been hard to sort of get this happening whilst COVID is going on. So my idea is we do the prerequisites, you do the basic prerequisites and you study with them. And then what I want to do is I want to run a class for people who have purchased those prerequisites to help you sort of consolidate them so that you can move on to the next set of prerequisites. And once you've done the next set of prerequisites, you only need to do 2 to move on to script. And then we can concentrate on script work. And once those second set of prerequisites are out, then I am willing to start taking on people for private classes and sort of one-to-one and groups of 5 to really help you with your calligraphy. But the prerequisites are essential so that I don't have to worry about if you know how to say it, if you know where the page has to be. So all of that will be dealt with in the prerequisites. And of course, those prerequisites will affect everything you do. All your calligraphy will change. So there's a lot that's happening, a lot that I really want to help you guys sort of boosting your confidence in the work and being able to produce really beautiful work. One of the things that I want to get you to do is to do something that I do. My curves are smooth. They're not shaky. I'm not using a lot of finger movement. It's a combination of sort of my version of muscular movement, which again is one of the prerequisites that I have. But also it's an easier way to produce muscular movement. And then there's the understanding of, which groups of muscles you're using. Are you using this part of the finger or this part of the finger? Is it a wrist movement? Is it a forearm movement? Is it a muscular movement? Is it a shoulder movement? Is it a whole arm movement? What's happening and how is it happening? So that's covered in the PAScribe muscular movement and whole arm movement. These prerequisites will also help you. I see Gustavo was talking about sharp hairlines. These prerequisites will also help you produce hairlines in a way that I produce them. So I've also shown something that I call the trick, which I've shown some of you before. And the trick is amazing. It dramatically changes the way in which you can write a hairline. And the hairline that you produce is infinitely better and repetitively better than anything you would have done before. When the studio had classes, I was teaching some students in the studio the trick. And one of the women in the class, I was helping the other students and she was sitting over there and I just heard her go. I looked across and I was like, what's going on? And then I started helping the other students and she just went, and I said, are you all right? And she turned to me and she said, I don't like to cry in front of strangers. She said, but I don't care. She said, I've hairlines and lightness of touch have evaded me for the last 10 years. I've been doing Copperplate and I've never been able to do this. And I used your hold and I used your muscular movement and I thought it was a waste of time to just come and spend 2 days working on my hold and my muscular movement. She said, but I thought if he can do it, there must be a way that he's doing it. She said, and this is the best money I've ever spent. She said, because I've just been testing what you've taught me. And look, I've been able to do this whole line of hairlines and a whole line of lines of universal beauty at a lightness and a repetitive lightness that I have never been able to achieve. So of course I started crying because it's one thing for me to get it to work, but it's a very different matter when other people start getting it to work. And of course, the other thing that my hold does, if you're using it correctly, is it stops you from squeezing the tool and it stops you from damaging your hands. And that's really important because, you know, I caused a lot of damage to my hand and to my arm and to my shoulder. And so I started trying to figure out, when I hold a tool, am I suffering? Because my tissues are so injured that if I feel a twinge of pain, I know that that's not right. So I developed this hold out of the lack of suffering. And I know a lot of you, and I know this is hard, and I know some of you have heard me go on about this. I know a lot of you hold a tool like this. This is so incredibly bad for you because you're using just that movement, and I feel all of this is hurting. So don't forget, I have 35 odd years of writing on you. So, you know, I'm much further along with that kind of damage. But that, when you are writing and you're rolling around on this and this is moving, you know, when you look at some of you guys write, and this is really going to hurt me, when you're sort of doing this, I mean, I've done that and all of this has lit up. It's like, you know, I've just shoved an ice pick into my hand. That does not help. And, you know, you complaining to yourself, you know, and this is the problem. You're complaining to yourself that, oh, my letters aren't live enough. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't make this shape. It's really shaky. It's really ragged. I don't have delicacy. You know, a couple sessions ago, I think it was the last session I did, and the session before that, I was showing you that when I'm writing these 17th century letters, I'm using the tool but I'm using maybe a third of the pressure on the tool, and it's producing this gloriousness. And you know, just because the tool can spread doesn't mean you have to get to the maximum spread. So that, or you know, this, or that, or holding it right at the foot. So you know, in my manual, I have a picture of the pen staffs and what the different parts are, and all of that. We have all of that free. So if you go to the Linktree link in the bio, and you go to the Shopify site, and you go to the essential information extracts, Telmo and I have pulled 18 pages out of the manual for free, because I felt it was necessary for you guys to have access to. So while I've mentioned Telmo a few times, please follow Telmo. TN Calligraphia, he's brilliant. He's just done a feather, a wing of a bird in the most delicate gold. He is really, really quite phenomenal. Right, so Gustavo, I see you mentioned the death grip. Don't forget to look at the death grip video that I have. That really will help you. Oh, Sarah, I'm so glad to hear that. You know, you will be so happy when you move to the straight holder. You know who to ask? Ask Heather Held. Heather and I had a great phone call years ago, and she was using an oblique holder, and she changed, and I was like, yes. And she said to me, I've never looked back. The oblique holder is great, but it only has a certain, it's made for a specific reason. And if your interest is, you know, 17th century letters and English roundhand, then by all means, you know, you need to work with a straight holder. You know, Huang has a course coming up on English roundhand, so check him out. Sarah, who's just on there. Where's she gone? Where's Sarah gone? Sarah script. Sarah has a course on Teachable. And there's some great courses out there to get you started with the script and really sort of get you stuck in. Okay, just waffling on. All right, I'm going to shut up. Okay, so thanks very much. I'm glad that you think the live for the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, English roundhand script is the better option. I just need to think about if I want to do it portrait or landscape, because of course, if it's landscape, you can see more. You can see it sits better on YouTube, and obviously it sits better in Facebook, so you can sort of zoom in, because of course all the comments disappear afterwards. All right, so don't forget, sign up for the newsletter. I haven't produced one yet because I've been waiting for some stuff, and I'm really excited. I just want to show you what this product is. Brilliant. I cannot tell you how it will change your life. So this is the second prototype that we've had made, and it's come in at £35 to have it made. And I'm just like, geez. And that's not even the shipping. It's not even trying to make, you know, like £5 or £10 on top of it. But I can guarantee it will change your life. And it will also make sure your ruling of lines will never, ever be torture again. You will actually enjoy ruling the lines. Right, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for your time. I really, really appreciate all your time and your support, and I hope that, you know, I'm, you know, this sort of approach of learning is helping, because I want to help you guys get better. You know, I see. Hello, honey. Oh, are you coming to pick me up now? My husband's just come on. I don't want you to have to reinvent the wheel. You know, I've struggled through calligraphy, you know, for 3/4 of my life. There's so much I can teach you, and there's so much I can help you with, so that you are not starting where I started. You can start at the end of where I am now, and so that you can take this on. Oh, Karen, Hong Kong. Hong Kong. I really miss Hong Kong. Right. Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. Drafting the lines for a decade now. Hate. You know what? When I was at Reigate, Gaynor Goff, who taught me, so, oh my God, Flower Hong Kong too. Oh, Karen, Hong Kong. Oh. And you know, the worst thing is, you know, my extended family live in Hong Kong, and I keep getting messages from them. And of course, do you follow Yuki Marie, Yuki Rose? And Yuki's like the food queen. She has tons of food, and she's posting all this food, and I'm crying. Anyway, when I was at Reigate, Gaynor told me something really important. So look for Gaynor Goff on Instagram as well, because Gaynor is amazing. Italy. Yay. I miss Italy too, you know. I miss Milan. I miss going to Trattoria da Mauro and having their hand-picked field mushrooms and fresh pasta. Gaynor said to me, the thing about lines is you have to learn to love the ruling of lines. So I'm talking to you about lines, and I'm actually doing myself a disservice here because of the tool that I have coming out. When you rule a line, the first thing you have to think about is the lightness of the line, because you don't want the lines to be too heavy so that they're fighting with the lettering. But the most amazing thing about learning to like lines is, as you're ruling the lines, it is telling your brain, this is the X height I am going to be working at. So don't rule the lines hastily. You're ruling the lines gently, taking your time. You keep the tool vertical, because of course if you change the angle of the tool, it starts to shift. So I use a Pentel. You know, this is actually one of the ones that I bought 23 years ago. I just went back and I bought some more from London Graphic Center, and Pentel said to me, oh, you should have asked us, we would have sent them to you. And I said, yeah, I know, but I just, you know. Hold the pencil vertically and pivot on your little finger and rule the line that way. And so you're going one. You could even use it as a breathing exercise. So you inhale, put down, and so you're using the ruling of lines, just like the Chinese and the Japanese use the grinding of ink to prepare your mind, to slow yourself down, to do the writing. Because if you, hi Osman, if you rush the lines, then the writing is going to be erratic, because you've not taken the time to allow the rhythm of the lines to sink in. Of course, my tool that, you know, the Telmo I just finished getting back the second prototype for, doesn't take that away from you. It helps. Can't really talk about it. Oh. All right, listen, I'm gonna go. Yay, Dominican Republic. Oh, so close but yet so far away. Oh, some Larimar. Beautiful stone coming out of the Dominican Republic. So powerful and peaceful and energetic and relaxing. All right. Ask Giovanni, I can't talk about, you know, that's asking a little too much. If I answer that question, I'll get into trouble. Okay, I keep saying I'm going and I'm not going. Okay, have a great evening. Have a really, really lovely time, and I will do this as a live, but I do think I will need to do it landscape rather than portrait. So I hope that's not going to be a problem, because of course in the posting it gives you much more to zoom in. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you very much.